Okay, welcome to class, everyone. Grab a seat, get those notebooks out, and let's get dialed in. Today we've got a fantastic explainer lined up for you. Think of this as your ultimate whiteboard study session. If you've ever, felt like your writing was just a bit choppy, or maybe you've really struggled to seamlessly weave your evidence into an essay, well, you are absolutely in the right place. Today we're mastering example connectors. These are literally the tiny but mighty tools that will take your writing from totally confusing to crystal clear. So let's just dive right into it.
Let's take a quick look at the lesson plan. We'll hit what example connectors actually are, compare formal versus informal examples, and then look at complete versus incomplete lists. After that, we'll cover how to emphasize specific points, tackle 3 super common mistakes, and finally do a quick class practice exercise together.
All right, Section 1. What are example connectors?
Imagine I'm writing this right on the chalkboard for you. Example connectors are basically words and phrases used to introduce examples, illustrations, or specific cases that help explain an idea more clearly. You know when your reader is quietly wondering, okay, but which ones, or can you actually give me an example of that? Well, these connectors just swoop right in to save the day. They clarify your ideas, they support your arguments with real evidence, and honestly, most importantly, they make highly abstract concepts incredibly easy to grasp.
Now, what's really cool is just how versatile these are. Let's walk through these 8 clear examples. You could say, many countries invest in renewable energy, for example, Germany using solar power. Or, many animals are endangered, for example, tigers at risk of extinction. You can put these right at the beginning of a thought. You can also drop them right in the middle, like some countries, for example, Japan and South Korea, have advanced tech. You can even stick them at the end, though that's a bit less common. Like, some fruits are rich in vitamin C, oranges for example. And hey, remember, for example and for instance are completely interchangeable. It's totally fine to say there are many ways to stay healthy. For instance, regular exercise improving fitness. Or jobs require creativity. For instance, graphic design requiring creativity. It's the exact same meaning, whether you're talking about penguins being birds that cannot fly or Singapore's modern transport system.
Moving on to Section 2. Formal versus informal examples.
Okay, if you're taking notes for your next essay, I highly urge you to write this rule down. When you're writing formally, for academic standards, you really want to lean on such as. But when you're just speaking informally or writing casually, you can absolutely use like. They both introduce specific examples from a larger group, but they definitely carry a very different weight.
Let's step back and look at these 6 examples on the board. When we're being formal, we use such as. I enjoy outdoor activities such as hiking and camping. Or many fruits such as apples, bananas, and oranges are nutritious. Some programming languages such as Python and Java are widely used, right? Very proper. But in informal, everyday conversational English, we just use like. I enjoy sports like football and basketball. Some animals, like dolphins, are highly intelligent. Countries like Canada and Australia have large natural areas. Do you see the difference there? It's the exact same function, but a totally different vibe.
All right, Section 3, complete versus incomplete lists. Now pay really close attention here, class, because we're transitioning to a crucial grammatical nuance. Honestly, this is one of the most common pitfalls I see in student writing. Think of this simple diagram as your boundary lines. When you use the word namely, your purpose is to specify exactly what you're talking about, and your list is 100% complete, 0 items left out. But when you use such as or including, you're only introducing partial examples from a larger group. The list is totally incomplete. There's plenty of other stuff out there that you just aren't mentioning. Let's be really deliberate here and go through 7 specific examples so you can actually see the structural difference. Look at the namely examples first. 3 students won the competition, namely Ahmed, Sarah, and Ali. Only those 3 won. The project focuses on 2 skills, namely reading and writing. Exactly 2 skills. We visited the most famous landmarks, namely the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. We literally only visited those 2. 2 countries were selected, namely France and Germany, meaning only those 2. Now look at the contrast with such as. European countries, such as France and Germany, attract tourists. That tells your reader, hey, there are plenty of other European countries too. I'm just naming 2 of them. The exact same rule applies for including. Several countries, including Oman, participated. Oman was there, sure, but so were others. The package contains many items, including a charger and headphones. There's definitely more stuff in the box.
Section 4. Emphasizing specific points.
So sometimes you don't just want to give a list, right? You want to say, hey reader,
Look right here, this is the absolutely most important part. For this, we use especially or particularly. They both do the exact same job of giving special attention, but particularly just dresses the sentence up slightly more formally.
The really crucial point is how they isolate the standout item. Let's look at 8 variations. I enjoy reading books, especially historical novels. Tourism increases in summer, especially in coastal cities. Students struggle with grammar, especially tenses. I like fruit, especially mangoes. Boom, mangoes get the spotlight. Now let's sound just a bit more formal. The lecture was useful, particularly the section on writing skills. Animals are active at night, particularly owls. She enjoys science, particularly physics. And of course, you can mix and match them, based entirely on the tone you want. I enjoy winter sports. You can say especially skiing or particularly skiing. Both are completely correct.
All right, Section 5, 3 common mistakes. Look at the red X's and green checks on the board. Let's fix these habits step by step to really protect your grades. Step 1, never ever leave such as hanging at the end of a sentence. You can't write, I like fruits such as, and then just put a full stop. Nope, you have to say, I like fruits such as apples. Step 2, do not use such as when giving an exact complete list. If only 3 students won, don't say, 3 students won the prize, such as Ahmed, Sarah, and Ali. That implies there were others. Use the green check, namely Ahmed, Sarah, and Ali. Step 3, pick such as over including when giving general examples of sports or hobbies. Saying, I enjoy sports including football, just sounds a bit clunky. The greener, much more natural choice is I enjoy sports such as football.
And that brings us to Section 6, class practice exercise. Okay, read these out loud with me, and let's fill in the blanks together. Question 1. Many countries are famous for tourism, blank, France and Italy. Question 2. Many students pass the exam, blank, Ahmed and Fatima. Question 3. 2 languages were selected, blank, English and Arabic. Take a second, think about complete lists versus incomplete lists. What do you think?
And here are the answers. Number 1 is such as, because there are obviously many famous tourist countries, we're just naming 2. Number 2 is including, because Ahmed and Fatima are part of a much larger group of passing students. And number 3 is namely. Why? Well, because exactly 2 languages were selected, and we listed exactly 2. The list is perfectly complete.
Let's look at the final 2. Question 4. I enjoy desserts, blank, chocolate cake. Question 5. Some animals are nocturnal, blank, bats are active at night. Think about how we emphasize a specific point, and then how we introduce a fresh example sentence.
Spot on. For number 4, to give chocolate cake the spotlight, we use especially or particularly. And for number 5, to kick off a brand new sentence with an illustration, we use for example or for instance. Both are perfectly interchangeable here. Excellent work, class.
Before the bell rings, let's lock this all in with a quick summary and an easy memory tip. Take a mental screenshot of this. For example or for instance means you're giving an example. Such as or like means you're introducing examples from a larger group. Namely, means you're giving the exact complete items. Especially or particularly means you're highlighting the single most important example. And including means you're mentioning examples that are just one part of a larger set.
And that brings us to the end of today's study session. Now that you have this ultimate study guide mapped out, I'll leave you with this question. How will you use these exact connectors to transform your very next essay from confusing to crystal clear? Keep practicing these in your writing, let those ideas flow smoothly, and I will see you in the next explainer.